All right, so I'm looking at this short opportunity on Swiss. This is in my secondary framework, something I've been experimenting with when a bullish composite, um, when the inventory on a bullish composite exits. Typically, in a bullish composite, you have a situation where we say, okay, investors or institutions were willing to carry risk on that institution, on that currency composite. So as we come to the balance sheet and we look at this, we could see that as prices pulled into this 1 day cycle, right? We could see that we failed. Nothing happened to we compress into 2 days. Okay. Well, the issue with the 2 day cycle is this: is that the fact that when the absorption took place here below the Kumo, and we basically it the absorption came underneath the clouds. So it's like the question is, well, who is backing that, right? It lacks the integrity to of a strong bullish absorption. And let me bring in another example so we could use this as a comparison here. Hold on a second. All right, so let's look at the Euro group when they had a similar scenario. So this was a 1 day cycle, and we compressed into a 2 day cycle. But look at how the absorption took place here. You see, like how the composite was standing firm, saying yes, we're absorbing, holding above the Kumo. So as Asia came in, Asia probed below the Kumo, but Asia didn't settle. Right? It was like, yeah, I'm here, but I'm here for a little bit. Let's go back in. Right? And the same thing, let me show you with the currency pair that day. So if you look here in Euro New Zealand, which was how when we look at a bullish composite, you always want to look for the currency pair that mimics the behavior of the bullish composite because that's where the the similarities appear to be. So if you see here, it was a 1 day cycle, right? And see where the absorption took place on the currency pair, right? So even though on the currency pair, there was price never was able to hold below the Kumo, and then it's got absorbed into the 2 day cycle, and eventually progressed, and eventually the whole group as a whole expanded, right? So if you see this, if I move the Euro group over, you could see that we expanded, right? Okay. Now the issue with today is with the Euro with the Swiss is let me switch it to how Swiss is looking. Yeah, so if we look at Swiss, you could see that Swiss it already has a red flag. It's already saying that um oops, go back to the current day. As you could see, absorption came but under the Kumo. And the prices are settling here. So when I look at Swiss, I'm like, I don't know if I feel comfortable buying Swiss. So when I look at which currency pair mimics this behavior, I look at all the Swiss and I see Canada. And when I look at Canada, look at this. So initially we were thinking, hey, we should sell Swiss, right? We should sell Swiss day one. Absorption came, prices hold above the Kumo, right? Failure. So I'm thinking this is going to reverse. And when I look at a target area, what's acceptable? Well, one could say here is typically an area that's realistic, perhaps. Uh, and yeah, maybe this is more realistic, this zone here. I think that's a little bit far fetched. The issue with this is it's not in my primary framework, so I'm playing a reversal. And the question is, where do I want to target it? Why do I want to target it there? Things like that. I'm playing a breakout. But let's bring in Canada as a level of confluence and see how Canada matches this and see how Canada is starting to make higher highs here. So when I look at this particular reversal or breakout play, I'm just trying to figure out where would I target. And typically I look at where was bullish continuation last place before it was displaced, right? I don't really have that here. So when I see it, then I can't really take the displacement from the 4 hour. I would typically take that from then the 60 minutes and say, well, where did bulls last fail here? And I could see that this is the zone where prices really, really came in and we broke out. So that's why I said this, I think, is more of a realistic target because this is not part of, this is just um, more of a gap, but a gap really was lack of participation at that zone. So the question is, are we getting there? And this is a Friday, you know, so even there, that's a primary target. So here's what I'll do. I will look and secure 30% if we get it at that target. And I will look and secure and move stops to break even. Again, this is an experimental trade for me. I have to put my stops below where this absorption failed. And then my secondary target would do this. I will do this on my secondary account. And let's see how this plays out. All right. I'll keep you updated. I'm getting ready to place a trade now. Thanks.